All right, get that website, OmahaWhiskeyFest.com, for all the information. Every Wednesday leading up to it on the 28th of September is Whiskey Wednesday. I'd be okay if we drank whiskey at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to need some food because I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah.
And so that was a quick.
Well, and usually
I cleared out the chest cavity.
If we would have had any colds or anything, it's always a good thing to clear it out. But if
I feel like Harry Doyle right now.
We're like in the 7th inning right now. The glasses that we were enjoying, the amount of whiskey, usually you're given that probably a good, between the two, probably about an hour. We did that in a matter of 20 minutes. So I think what we're doing is we're just trying to give a disclaimer for the remainder of the show.
Yeah. People were saying, hey, Gary, you should sip it. They were watching on 1620 The Zone TV.
Were you chugging it? Look at you.
We were told to chug it.
I didn't chug it.
Gary, this isn't Fireball.
I didn't chug it. I had sips.
Take some notes.
Yeah.
Ooh, sips with
Taking
sips.
some notes.
So I have a question here.
Okay.
Leading up to this season of college football around here is we need a new category in terms of games and how we decide the importance of games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I've got two new categories. We would like to win that game, and we need to win that game. And I'm going to use Colorado as an example.
Wow.
Okay.
I just read the quote.
Yeah, we're going to play something that Warren Sapp, who is on Deion Sanders' staff, said yesterday.
Yep.
So the Colorado-Nebraska game is very interesting. Remember, I blew you all away. Not by my breath that has that whiskey on it. Damn.
Hey, the mics are clean now. All
You're
sanitary.
welcome.
Seriously, man, I might be able to sing. My chest cavity
You
opened
good?
up.
Yeah, just
because I haven't had whiskey in a while. I like whiskey. It's not my go-to.
Yeah.
I will go to the Whiskey Fest after we get done with Big Red Overreaction.
Just do it during Big Red. Oh my God, Big Red Overreaction live at
Cammy, make it happen.
This would be amazing. Anyway,
sorry. So I was thinking, like the Colorado-Nebraska game, in terms of the importance. Remember, I said earlier, Nebraska hasn't started 2-0 since 2016. Everybody just, first of all, stop on Dodge for a moment. Stop on Dodge and consider the fact that Nebraska football has not started 2-0. We've talked about starting 1-0, and that hasn't happened since 19. Nebraska football hasn't been 2-0 since 2016. So week 2 is Colorado. Now, UTEP, I think defensively, initially is going to give Nebraska some problems. I think UTEP's defensive line, not bad, but Nebraska defensively will eat up UTEP.
Yeah, they should.
But week number 2 is Colorado. So if I asked a guy in Boulder, if I asked Bill in Birkenstocks in Boulder, is this, I would like to win the game in Lincoln or we need to win the game in Lincoln, what do you think he would say?
I think Bill in Boulder would say I'd like to win the game.
Okay. I agree.
He'd also say
because if I stopped Bill that's wearing Builder Trend boots in Lincoln, we're just different, man.
I didn't know they made boots.
They wear Birkenstocks in Lincoln.
Hey,
Builder Trend.
I've seen them.
We in Lincoln we have the Capitol Mall.
Yeah.
In Boulder they have Pearl Street Mall.
They have the Ped Mall.
Okay, so it's a little bit different. So I would say Nebraska needs to win the game.
Yeah.
Colorado would like to win the game. I think Colorado would love to be 2-1 after 3 weeks, which includes a trip. Really weird. They're going to Fort Collins to play. Remember when they used to play that game at Mile High?
Yeah.
With the new Mile High?
They actually got them to Fort Collins? Wow.
Yeah. So because part of the deal is CSU went to Boulder last year. Remember that?
Yep.
Crap show of a game.
The escape by Colorado.
And then this year, Colorado is going to Fort Collins, which is, I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about?
That's a good beer town.
But after 3 weeks, Nebraska needs to be 3-0. I think Colorado would be comfortable being 2-1. So I agree with you. We're on the same page. Colorado would like to win the game in Lincoln. Nebraska needs to win the game in Lincoln. Do this as an experiment at home while you're by yourself. And if you're scoring at home, congratulations. Like to win, need to win. How many I would like to win that games on Nebraska's schedule can you find compared to need to win those games? Remember the discussion we had yesterday about Wisconsin?
Yep.
Nebraska needs to beat Wisconsin. They haven't beat Wisconsin since 2012. But back to something on the Colorado staff. as that game is looming and what that will entail and what that week will be like around here? Warren Sapp, who is a graduate assistant on Deion, I think he's listed as a GA, on Deion Sanders' staff, somehow, some way, met with the media yesterday. And he was asked about the D-line because good on Deion. I mean, you got Warren Sapp helping defensive line guys. I'm
good.
like, that's pretty cool. I'm going every day to work, and Warren Sapp is my position coach.
Yeah, there's credibility there.
But can you guys help me, whether it be Nick, Jimmy, our listeners, anybody else, on what was Warren Sapp saying yesterday when he described who stood out the most in the D-line room in Boulder?
Wow, that sounds like high school orientation all over again.
Okay, there's a couple of things in
You know
here.
where I grew up. It makes sense.
Not every coach knows the name of their players.
Sure,
I
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Even some of Nebraska's coaches have referred to their players as numbers.
Yep.
There's lots of big boys.
You don't have as many guys when you're a position coach.
No.
Like if you're a head coach, you have a lot of guys.
Yeah,
You might
yeah.
refer to them as numbers. So Sapp referred to a couple of his guys. He wasn't really sure. But does Warren know? Has Warren Sapp ever been shot? Google that.
I don't believe
Google,
so.
has Warren Sapp ever been shot?
Wow, we've had a lot of. The last search was Big Al hit dingers. All right.
Because I bet if you do Google that right now, you're going to get just this quote that happened yesterday. So
he's been arrested on suspicion of soliciting a prostitute and assault. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
He kind of
nothing-
disappeared for a while.
nothing about Warren Sapp being shot.
No.
Um,
Or taking any shots.
Now, to be fair here, I listened to his whole media session.
Mhm.
Warren Sapp, as a coach, intrigues me. He does have a commitment to coaching.
I'd be listening.
This might be his path, and his friend gave him a job. So that's a soundbite that is taken out of there.
Yep.
I don't know. So if Warren Sapp has never been shot, and I don't know how many people that listen to 1620 The Zone have been shot in their lifetime, okay? Whether it be like some buckshot when you're hunting and you forgot to put on your orange and your buddy in the tree stand just unloaded on you and hit you in the buttocks.
Oof.
But
Don't go hunting with
not
him.
really getting hit. Like if you get hit by a 38 or a 9mm, it's not really it's not a big thing. But that was an interesting choice of words to describe who has stood out in his D-line room.
Last action hero stuff there.
Have you ever been shot?
No. I absolutely
I think
have
it's
not.
fair to ask.
No, I never have.
I've heard
I would
gunshots at a
have
party.
I would have immediately interjected on that soundbite. I'd be like, actually, Warren, there's a difference when you get hit by a 38 compared to a 9mm. So,
showing your wounds.
I don't know if I wanted to pick one or the other. I would pick this over that.
Sound like Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Whoa.
The accent.
Yeah, well, you went Ted. I would have just said a Kennedy.
Well, I don't
more
know
than
which
anything.
Kennedy to
I
say
had
anymore.
Yeah, well, I said shot, whatever. I don't know. That's probably the whiskey talking. No, it was a bit perplexing.
Lightweight over there, huh?
No, I loved it. That was really, really good. You're the one who chugged it like Fireball.
And is blushing now.
No, I would essentially. Wait, was it essentially or apparent? Oh, apparently. Damn it, I messed it up. I was going to try to get the apparently guy in there of Big Al. From apparently Warren Sapp wants it. No, is it bad that? Okay, I understand what he's saying. I think we all understand what he's trying to convey there with defensive linemen that whether he knows them by first name or not, feels like they're upgraded at that position from a year ago and that they have depth. But when describing depth at any position, when you start going into what would you rather have, a 38 or a 9mm, I'm just going to go ahead and say that's probably lost on a little bit of the audience when trying to describe said position group. Probably under the category of inappropriate.
Do people, I think they do, but I need to remind people on the 14th of August.
Okay.
Do people fully understand what a blank show the night of September 7th in Lincoln, Nebraska is about to become? Because you not only have, first of all, you start with Nebraska, Colorado. It's a night game. There are going to be people that'll be so juiced up during the day.
Ha!
I think
Friday night they will be.
I'm going to be honest here. I would encourage Colorado fans not to come to Lincoln because there will be
Morning, Josh.
so much buildup and anger and ferocity and this is our time moment. It would be extremely uncomfortable for visiting fans in Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's a night game. It's Colorado. You not only have who you are playing, and Colorado has had scoreboard on Nebraska, so it is paramount that Nebraska beats Colorado. But then you add in the factor of the head coach of Colorado, and then let's also be honest. There's a guy that got his butt whooped.
Yes, he did.
In the 94 Orange Bowl, 95 Orange Bowl, 94 season. I want to be fair.
Yep.
That
I knew.
There will be, and this is also, this might be next to the great Oklahoma games, the one game where Nebraska fans don't sell their tickets. They have been solicited, but they won't sell their tickets. I just want to, less than a month from that game, I'm going to continue to remind people, there will be such a blank show that night in Lincoln. I have heard from more people that are going to go to Lincoln, they don't have tickets to the game, and they don't care.
Yep.
They want to be involved in the scene outside of the stadium. They're going to be in the bars during the game, and then when the game is over, they're going to be out in the streets of Lincoln.
Yeah.
We always say, oh, I remember the Washington game in the 90s when Steve Entman just ate up the Nebraska offensive line and how wild an atmosphere that was. How big the Colorado atmospheres were in the 90s. How the Miami atmosphere was. People, you don't understand because there's some swag.
Oh, yeah.
September 7th, 2024 in Lincoln, Nebraska will be a GD blank show. I'm just telling you right now.
Bigger than
That's
Miami.
why I tell you, open up the res and look away.
So the week of, even last year, where there was a lot of national media attention on Colorado because they pulled off the TCU game. They're going to have the home debut of Deion Sanders at Colorado, all of those things. And we were wondering, what is Nebraska? What do they look like? Because I will admit, I was confused on what I saw with Nebraska, Minnesota. So I didn't know how to look at that game. You go into that week hosting, hopefully coming off of a win to where you can point to so many more positives and negatives over UTEP.
Oh, you said hopefully?
Hopefully you can grab a lot. No. Not hopefully you win. No.
You said it was going to be 34-10.
I did.
If Nebraska doesn't start 1-0 for the first time since 19.
I said hopefully you can draw way more positives than
Hoiberg
negatives.
better go buy some games so that we can start the basketball season earlier.
No, Nebraska will be 1-0, but hopefully you're grabbing a lot of positives. You're feeling good about what you saw there.
1-0.
And regardless of what Colorado, however they look, hell, they could get beat by North Dakota State. It doesn't change the type of, from Monday on, when we are in these chairs that Monday morning, it will get better and better and better that week, so much more than it did a year ago. And I joked when I said, hell, Gary, that's going to start Friday night. I think once people are off work on Friday,
maybe
dude, it is game on.
Oh, you mean Friday before Colorado?
Yeah, the Friday before Colorado, as far as once people are off
It'll be
work.
Once the Saturday night game against UTEP is over.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, as far as the conversation, I'm talking about gearing up, lubing up, getting ready for that Saturday.
But this isn't. This is between two teams that were 5-7 last year and 4-8.
Yeah.
It's not about, oh man, this is a big game. This is 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 3. This is pure hatred and pettiness, which is great in college athletics. That drives college athletics. Rivalries drive college athletics.
Two quick things real quick, and I know I got to get to a call. Cheapest ticket that you can find right now is $274 for that game. The other part about this, too, is I have a feeling that this will not just be the local angle between our market and as much as people in Boulder or in the Denver market care about Colorado football, that they'll play up the rivalry, the hatred. Remember, this thing is a primetime national televised game.
NBC will have some fun.
Nationally, they will hype that part of it up. I think at one point we talked about this, or someone mentioned it. Might have been you, Gary. It might have been you, Jimmy, because you are America's team of Dallas Cowboys. Nebraska is going to be America's team that night. Because I think they will be. I think everyone else is looking at Nebraska saying, take them down.
No, ask an Iowa fan.
Well, okay.
Iowa fan will be like, man, Prime can do whatever he wants as long as he wins in Lincoln on September 7th.
We'll exclude the other black and gold, but everyone else will be
a number of people
pro
will be
Nebraska that
Nebraska.
night.
All right, before we get to Jeff here, think about this. Keep it in the back of the old 360 upstairs. Could you get to more than 3? I would like to win on Nebraska's schedule. There's need to win.
I would like to.
Like to win. This is Jeff on the Equitable Bank or the 42 Degree The Source hotline. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning.
They're listening.
Hey, guys, I got a quick can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Jeff, I got you. It is. You can do whatever you want.
All right. I got a quick story for you. You guys were talking about coaches not knowing players' names.
Yeah.
And this isn't a story to long for the 80s or 90s, but 1985, I was a freshman in Lincoln, and one of my good friends, fraternity brothers, was a walk-on from Kansas City, and he played defensive end in high school. He was probably a pretty good defensive end in high school because he was strong and he wasn't afraid to hit you, but he was too small. So they gave him a shot at linebacker, and ultimately, he long story short, he didn't make it. He was so slow. His 40 time, he didn't just carry the piano. You'd swear he stopped to play it along the way. So he didn't get a chance. And ultimately, after his freshman year, he gave up. But his first day at practice, he came back and was so thrilled about being a part of it. And he said the best part of his day was he was getting ready in the locker room for practice, strapping his gear on, and Coach Osborne walked through the locker room and said hi to him and called him by his first name.
Yeah.
And he
that's cool.
Never forget it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Jeff, thanks for sharing that story.
You bet.
Is that like when Ara Parseghian remembered Rudy's name?
Well, I think if you're a player,
Did he quit?
I get it if you don't know the other team's players, because this was a Bo thing.
Yeah.
Bo would refer to numbers of opposing players.
A lot of defensive coordinators will do that too. I think Tony White does that with the opposition as well.
Yeah. Kansas.
Yeah.
But I think it's disingenuous if your own team, you don't know the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like a position coach should know every guy in his room.
Should be tight.
A head coach, for the most part, should know every player.
Right.
But like as a position coach, if you don't know all the guys in your room, I don't know, that's not a good thing. Because it's not, okay, so John Butler, from what I've heard, among the many things about John Butler, is his introduction to his room. It wasn't, I stood up in front of the room and I told people, hey, I'm John Butler. I'm your new position coach. And then put up a slide of his resume.
Yeah, here's what I did,
John Butler, shook the hands of every single player that is a defensive back at Nebraska that is in his room. And he didn't say, hey, nice to meet. He always introduced himself as Coach Butler.
Mm-hmm.
And so it solicited the player shaking his hand would respond with his name.
Yeah.
So then he could start to, but he's got a large room. But when position coaches don't know the names and they start referring to guys that they coach as numbers, come on, man.
Or bullets. By the way, I know there were some people in the stream that could not hear what we said. Now, this is one of those clips, though, that I do think context is important. So when he said he wouldn't single out one guy because we're a pack, he does. Before that, he, like Gary mentioned, and I'm talking to our folks in the stream that couldn't hear the clip, and if you haven't read or heard this yet, he goes over a lot of their defensive linemen, and then there's a couple of guys that he feels like he's forgetting, brings up a couple of numbers, but then that's where he gets to the meat of this quote, so to speak, and that is, I wouldn't single out one guy because we're a pack. We'll be 6 deep. We're just mixing and matching. We got bullets. You get shot with a 38 or a 9mm, you pick it.
Now do it as Lou Holtz.
But if we're talking about defensive linemen, though,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my little gun knowledge here.
Oh,
I've never been shot before, but
you did stay at Holiday Inn last night.
Honestly, if you get shot like in the buttocks by a 38 or a 9mm, I'm going to work the next day. Here's what you should do. If you're a defensive line coach and you want to use this analogy, and again, I'm very intrigued by Warren Sapp.
What are you, Connor Happer? All of a sudden, you can get shot and go to work the next day?
Wait, he got shot and went to work?
No, but Connor always talks about, I've never been shot by a 9mm, so I don't know what it would be like.
We're talking about a 38 and a 9mm.
Well, I feel like if I got shot in the right area, I'd be in trouble.
Talking about the buttocks.
I'd like to see that.
This is just in the buttocks? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, not like in the head.
Well, that's what I mean. You made it sound like
Holy cow.
Well, you made it sound like you get shot by whatever, then you're going to work the next day. I'm like, damn, you are Iron Man.
But listen to this, though. So we talk about the tiny baby buffs. If I'm talking about the defensive line, man, and you're going to get shot with a 38 or a 9mm, that's a skill guy. That's the size of Ja'Cory Barney. If I'm a defensive line coach and I'm going to use that analogy,
shotgun,
300 BLK or a friggin' landmine. Come on, baby.
I smell what you're cooking. We got 4 Panzers on the front line.
I mean, a 38 and a 9mm is pellets. Tink, tink, bam.
Special teams.
Tiny baby buffs.
It's still that mentality, right?
Well
those
done.
Those are this is a great sports show. These are two of the
great show.
These are two of the smallest bullets of existence that are fired with some of the lowest powered classes of weapons on the planet. I would say my guys are built and they're going to be dropping nuclear bombs, not a 38mm or a 9mm, or a 38.
We call him H-bomb for a reason.
A howitzer, a Gatlin. No, do you think so? If Warren Sapp was,
if I'm a defensive line, I don't want to be compared to 38.
See, and that's what I'm curious if there's a retraction of the statement, because some people obviously were offended for just the comparison to gun use. That Warren Sapp makes a retraction, says, you know what, I actually misspoke. You're like, oh, okay, here it comes.
Yeah,
that's actually way too small of a gun.
I misspoke. They're airsoft bullets.
That would be so Colorado. If he did a retraction and actually beefed up the size of the gun.
Apologize.
And the power.
Apologize. They're bazookas, all of them.
I mean,
the type of recoil you're going to get on that one.
I want Terrence Knight, the next time he speaks, I want him to say, our guys are built like a 50 caliber machine gun.
Yeah, 50 cal.
Remember Predator when they shoot up the jungle? That's my guys.
You guys remember the last Rambo? When he goes all Rambo on everyone with the 50 cal? Yeah.
Your arm gets blown off. Carl Weathers is still shooting.
I'm surprised the line has not gone up in this game, because if you're going to come into a gunfight, and Warren Sapp introduced it, the 38 or the 9mm is not a primary weapon, okay? You should lose like a couple of points on the Vegas line because of that.
Eric says, give this room some whiskey and they can go bananas on Colorado and gun. Can this be the normal show?
Ooh. The thing about what he said makes absolutely no sense. That's the bottom line at the end of the day. Guns or not.
But
what he said is, if you're going to make that connection, you don't go with those two bullets. Okay?
But how?
Thank you. That is my TED Talk on guns today. I will retire from that conversation.
And I will add to that, how Colorado was that? How you ask the question all the time, is this a serious football program? That, another example to put into the bank of how Colorado was that statement.
Colorado will be a challenge. I'm not going to hide that.
Great, absolutely they will.
Colorado will go to a bowl game this year.
I think so too. They'll be a 6-win team at least. Yep. But
Colorado in week 2 will be a challenge.
That is a must win. If you are a serious football team and you are having the improvements and taking the path that we all hope, and I think there's tangible evidence to believe the Nebraska is, you have to win that game.
A couple of tweets here before the break. Kyle says, I can promise you no one in the Big Ten in a 500-mile radius of here is rooting for Nebraska over Colorado.
Okay.
Kent says, Colorado game should be the game you honor the 94 pipeline.
Yeah. Okay.
So full disclosure here, somebody who I know that is involved in the video for Husker Vision, I sent him an idea. I said, if you in week 2 do not have Warren Sapp and on a knee at the Orange Bowl in 94 as part of the video, you should quit immediately.
Turn in your resume.
He has not returned my email. Huh. So
I
like the idea of honoring the 94 pipeline team.
JR on Twitter says you're not going back to work the next day after 9mm to anywhere. Sorry. I don't know. Just
in the buttock?
I don't know. I think you have to have a good ass if you're going to take a shot there. That's my...
Which one of you guys would like to be to see if this theory is true?
It ain't me.
You can shoot me in the butt with a BB gun. That's about where I'll
Wait, do we get workman's comp?
For being shot?
Yeah.
I
don't know the rules to that.
I think there's probably more of a lawsuit that comes with that.
Well, I don't sue anybody. I like it here. No.
Just a weird... I think Warren got riffing, and he was like, okay. But I would have chosen something more powerful to describe my defensive line.
Just say like a bunch of heavyweight fighters with an...
If he describes his defensive line like that, what does the offensive line describe at Colorado? All right, 8:52. Coming up after the top of the hour, we'll talk some Rutgers football. As Rutgers is a darling. They are very much getting a lot of love. That game on October 5th, I think, will be a great test for Nebraska in so many different ways.
Be a good game.
Plus, Brandon Vogel will join us, and I will pose the question to him. Can you get past 3 games on Nebraska's schedule where it falls into the category, well, I'd like to win that, compared to need to win that? Alan says, all I heard was Gary has a good ass.
I mean...
You know what has been told about my...
Flaunt what your mama gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Well, my mama was...
Oh, boy.
We
heard the first hour. If you heard the first hour, are we going back? Let's not go there.
Let's say, Ma, rest in peace, wouldn't have been doing Pilates on to the Today Show. I have a pancake butt. I do.
Can you please describe what a pancake butt is?
It's just straight. It's
I know
flat.
what it is.
It's flat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We used to call them NOS in high school.
My mama didn't give me any junk in the trunk.
Wait, you call them what?
NOS. No ass.
Oh, no ass? Okay.
And you'd hear sometimes a shotgun blast from someone making that they shot it off.
I've tried. I've done deep squats, and it ain't working.
Preach.
I got no hope. I'm way past that age to start building up the glutes.
I have that problem.
Or no,
with
it's
legs.
not the glutes. It's what is that thing called back there?
Your ass.
Your buttocks?
Yeah, close enough.
Glutes. No, it is
Yeah,
glutes.
it's glutes.
Okay.
Yeah, your gluteus
building up the
maximus.
glutes. I try, man. I do some neat D-bends with weights, but I got a pancake butt. And I'm okay with it.
It's cool. I got chicken legs.
You know what? I got to go to the special section when I buy jeans for the pancake butt people. I don't go to the jeans that got the fake butt.
Is there a pancake butt section?
Yeah, there is.
Section?
It's back. You got to push the wall at Kohl's, and it takes you into the back.
Kirk Cousins cardboard cutout.
Wait, there's like a velvet rope. It's like a secret society.
No, there's a bar in, is it Nashville? I think it's in Nashville or Louisville.
It's called Pancake
where
Butts.
it's a clothing store, but if you know, you push a wall and you go into the bar.
And
It's
then
like movie gallery in the back room.
That's what Brickway should do, or Spirit World.
Yep.
We'll sample a little whiskey.
Great places.
All right, we got to take a break. Whew. Whew. I'm worn out now.
I want you guys to check your email and who we got it from, and I got a little worried.
We still have an hour to go. Oh, I see.
Yeah. When I saw who it was from, I'm like, uh-oh.
She was like, wait.
Yeah.
Do you guys hold out on me?
But we're good. We're good. Don't worry. It wasn't about anything that pertains to this show.
Yeah. FOMO. That's all it was.
What are we doing?
I just saw them. Oh. No, we're not doing anything.
Great show. Read our emails.